Hello there, Trevor here from Double Bill Movies. Well, I haven't done one of these in a long time, but this is a big screen review. Film in question is Dirty Harry. Now, it's the first time watch for me, and yeah, I have to say I quite enjoyed it. It wasn't quite as good as I kind of was led to believe. Yeah, it's got some great lines in it and all that kind of stuff, and some pretty good action. But I kind of came away from it not feeling that I was being completely wowed. I'd say it dated somewhat. So it's from 1971, starring Clint Eastwood, of course, and Andrew Robinson, who plays the killer. And he's obviously famed from his time in Hellraiser, which obviously came after this film, but that's where we started to get to know him a bit more as an actor. So for me, the image, obviously it's a 4K, and a lot of these new 4Ks are looking absolutely stunning. But this one didn't look as stunning as it possibly could have done, but I'd actually put that down to film stock. There was just some parts of it that it just didn't look that amazing. Still looked nice, don't get me wrong, the colours were good, contrast was good and all that sort of stuff, but some of it was just a bit fluffy, despite all the sunshine that a lot of it was filmed in as well. It just didn't sort of pop for me. But the really big aspect of this 4K for me was the sound. And well, for an old film, for a new mix, it's a reference mix, I have to say. The steering of the sound around the speakers and the weight of the sound. So sounds in the front speakers, if you've got really good sort of big front speakers, might have more weight and sound much better than if they're in the rear speakers, because you might have smaller speakers at the rear. But if you've got your subwoofer set up right to handle everything, and the crossover set correctly, then your small speakers shouldn't matter so much. But so I'll show you. So that there is one of my surrounds, and I have 4 of them. There's obviously one that side, and there's 2. You might just be able to see one there actually. Anyway, yeah. So you obviously, like I said, your typical Clint Eastwood one-liners, and the most famous one, "Are you feeling like a punk?" and all that kind of stuff. Plays out twice in the film, and the second time it plays out slightly differently than the first time. But that was nicely set up. I love how Dirty Harry shows that he's actually a very good cop. He's sitting in the cafe, and he's asking the guy behind the counter just to check on the car, so he doesn't look like he's obviously looking at the car, and that kind of thing. Gives him a phone number for, and the guy behind the counter saying, "Well, you want me to ring the police?" and that kind of thing. But we sort of find out, is he Dirty Harry because he's a dirty cop, or is it because he just gets all the crappy jobs, kind of thing? But obviously we start to follow this killer who's just seemingly randomly shooting people. He starts off by sniping the woman in the swimming pool, and there's a pretty good sort of rooftop chase when Dirty Harry gets his new partner, and he's like, "Oh, I don't want another partner, this, that and the other, and my last one's in hospital, one, and another one died," and all that kind of stuff. And no, they seem to sort of work together pretty well. His new partner doesn't really take any crap, and he just kind of gets on with it and that sort of thing. But there's various points where that the killer's demanding money, and there's a point where Dirty Harry's got the money in a yellow bag, and he's been told by the killer to meet him at a certain place, and that doesn't go very well, and there's a bit of a shootout, not between Dirty Harry and the killer, but Dirty Harry's partner. And there's a the killer gets hit, and he just lets out this really weird, sort of quite scary sounding scream when he's got the red the red balaclava on his head and that kind of thing. But one of the scenes, I think it was a bit later on, when they goes for the to get the money again, sort of thing. Oh, I think it's the second attempt with the money has clearly sort of failed again, and they kind of have him in custody, but they can't hold him because they got no charges on him because of the way sort of Dirty Harry's gone about is in trying to catch him and that sort of thing. And there's a scene where they're running through a car park or parking lot, a multi-story car park, and the killer comes running towards us and past us, and I literally turned around because he ran past me, and the sound was that good. It was like I was in the car park watching the scene unfold in front of me, and that's when I really started to notice that, wow, the sound quality is exceptional. So there's the whole chasing on the bus, and you know, he sort of kidnaps some well, he doesn't kidnap some school kids, but he hijacks a school bus, and of course there's school kids on it. And there's a scene where they're coming off the freeway, and there's a bridge up ahead of them, and you see this man stood on the bridge. I'll show you these pictures, and I just thought, Christ, that man, I know who it was. Obviously it's Dirty Harry, it's Clint Eastwood, and it's like he's almost as tall as the bloody bridge. He just looks so imposing in that scene. Yeah. And as we get closer, he's just much bigger and bigger and bigger. Of course, he jumps on top of the bus, and all sorts of shenanigans going on, and shooting up through the roof of the bus. But yeah, it was a good film. Now, I got 2 of the 3 films that came out around the same time. So you had Dirty Harry, Pale Rider, and is it The Outlaw Josie Wales? There wasn't a slipcover on that one in my HMV anyway. I know there was when it first came out, but obviously it sold well, so I need to find one. But I only found this one and Pale Rider with the slipcover. Now, I have to say, I don't think this is a very good cover. It's a bit disappointing. You know, I'm glad I've got the slipcover on it, obviously, because I'm a collector and I like to have my slipcovers. Yeah, slightly disappointing. It would be nice to, at least, if you know, if it was a boutique label, I'd have reversible art, wouldn't I? But it's not, so I don't. Now, if you've seen any other reviews and they've said, well, you know, the sound isn't very good, or you yourself don't think the sound is very good. Now, what I have to say that I had to do was really turn up my amp. And that's why I got such a good experience. Now, I generally run my films at 65 on my amp. I watch telly at sort of 55, and then I turn up to 65. And I think I actually had to run this film, and I've watched a few Warner Brothers titles lately, and I've had to turn them up as well, but they still sound amazing. So I had to run this at 75 on my amp to get a really good sort of comfortable volume without it being too noisy. Sometimes these old films, when you turn them up, they can sound really harsh to the ears, but this was a beautiful mix. I was really impressed. And as you can see from these images, the picture is actually, it is pretty good. but like I said, the film stock, I think, may have just let some of it down. So yeah, all in all, I think I gave it an 8 out of 10. Like I said, it's my first watch seeing Dirty Harry. I know there's some others. Was it 5 films in total? But yeah, there we go. 8 out of 10 for Dirty Harry, but 10 out of 10 for the sound on Dirty Harry. And to be honest, you know, don't want to step on anyone's toes, but if you've watched this film on your setup and you thought, oh, it doesn't sound very good, and even turning it up doesn't help, try and invest in a better setup. Try and put some money into an AV receiver and surround sound speakers. Now, we don't all have the space, and sometimes compromises might have to be made on the positioning. This room isn't perfect for it, don't get me wrong. And if you see these 2 shelving units, I've got basically discs not all around me. I've got them in front of me, I've got them over there, and then I've got them there. Now over that side is sort of a chair, and so there's actually lots of areas that will absorb sound and kind of break sound up, but for somehow I've still managed to get it to sound really good in this room. And my wife and I watched The Mask yesterday, Jim Carrey, and that sounded really good. That's also from Warner Brothers, even though Arrow have released it. That's a Warner Brothers title. And so yeah, like I said, if you listen to this and you don't think it sounds very good, seriously, it does sound amazing. And I would really try and invest in a decent subwoofer. So not an all-in-one package, but a separate subwoofer, an AV receiver, and you don't need 7.1. 5.1 is perfectly adequate. Okay, you're not going to get the Atmos and everything, but that's fine. But make sure you get a powerful amplifier. The more powerful the amplifier, the less work it has to do. If you've got one that's cheap but isn't very powerful, and you start to turn it up, it's going to work harder and it's going to sound horrible. So yeah, and like I said, these are Wharfedale speakers. They're not that big, and I've got them on tall stands, and so they're about ear height when I'm sat down like this. And yeah, it sounds amazing. So anyway, the other night when I watched this, I thought, you know what, I actually feel in the mood to take some pictures to show you guys and do a big screen review. So this isn't I'm back doing it, I was just in the mood. So please don't get too excited about I'm back doing reviews. Now I am about to watch Snuff. The reason being, Bumper and I from Bumper's Movies, we've got to the last the last 4 or so films in our series, the 39. Now he actually just done the recent video for The Night of the Demon, but early on in our series there was a point where neither of us had the film, so we sort of just watched the trailer and did our notes off of that. But then at a later date I actually got the film, so I was able to watch it, and I think you might have found a way of watching it. So it kind of put us out of sync because we've been alternating right from the start. So when Bumper does the episode for Snuff, it will put us back in sync. I'll get to do SS Experiment Camp and he'll get to do Tenebrae, and then together we'll get to do Zombie Flesh Eaters. So although if you've been following that series, and Bumper rightly said that the Snuff would have been on my channel, we've had a discussion since, and Snuff's going to be on his channel again. But hopefully it won't be such a big gap as it has been of late, because like I said, that video only came out the other day. about Night of the Demon, and he said he was going to try and watch this weekend, and I'm going to watch this tonight. So hopefully in the next couple of weeks you'll get the next 39 episode. But that's my big screen review of Dirty Harry, and I hope you're all well. Please give this video a like. What do you think of it? What did you think of the 4K? What did you think of the sound? Are you interested in, oh, maybe I should get a better sound system? I know, like I said, not everyone has the space, but try, find a way. Anyway, till the next video, take it easy.